Success is in the struggle. There are going to be things that you have to overcome. I feel like my most successful moments, I had to overcome more than my challenges because of my hunger, because of my grit. Yeah. When I was challenged, I rose to the occasion. Like I was hard on myself. I still am hard on myself. I got better. You know what I'm saying? It's improvements. But handling success and doing it over and over and over again is one of the most challenging things that you can do as an athlete.
No Free Lunch is presented by T. Rowe Price. The information provided on this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified financial and or legal professionals before making any legal or financial decisions or investments. I'm Ndamukong and welcome to No Free Lunch, where we talk to experts and athletes about how the most successful people in sports manage their money and grow their wealth. Danny, what we got going on today, man?
We are in New York.
Yes, New York, the Big Apple.
The biggest apple, man. We're talking to a very special guest.
We are.
In multiple different big dubs, getting a big dub today. Jameis Winston. I need to know, what's a story about Jameis that made you really feel like this is going to be a guy that you rock with?
Man, I mean, there's so many great stories, but the funny thing is our wives are close.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So his wife and my wife, Katia, are super, super close. And they've known each other for a while, but then obviously when we played together in Tampa Bay, they got even closer. Kids hung out. And honestly, really that bond has always kind of kept us close. And really, what I enjoyed the most about Jameis is just his character of who he is.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to be who he is and speak his mind. And you know why I know that is? He's got an amazing birthday, January 6th, which is my same birthday.
Oh,
we don't give a bleep about what's going on, and we going to speak our mind at the end of the day.
I'm excited, man. I'm a fan. I lived in Florida for a little bit as a kid.
Yeah.
And that FSU team that won that Natty, that was a special team. So I'm here as a producer, fan of the conversation, all the above.
Yeah, man. Jameis is going to be, I will expect to be entertaining, but I think people will be definitely surprised of how intellectual he is. And we got to spend some time, himself and his amazing wife came to our 5th year anniversary this past May. And just spending time with him, man, is always remarkable. Of like, everybody sees that goofy side of him, but he's got some real gems about him as an individual. My man, Jameis Winston. Welcome to the show, boss, man. I appreciate you joining. How you been?
I've been great, bro. I'm grateful for you. Yeah, you be the reason why I'm at, bro.
No, I appreciate that. So let's jump into it, man. Bessemer, yeah, Alabama. Bessemer, Alabama. Let's start where it all began for you. What was that like growing up there? And ultimately, I know that's a big part of you as a human being and being from Alabama. So let's talk about that.
Well, it starts with my faith. Like growing up in the Southern Baptist Church, grandma made me go every single Sunday. Big family. Till I was about 13, I was in and out of my grandmother's house with ages 77 to newborns. Yeah. So I got uncles who are war veterans. I got family members that are crackheads, all different type of stuff, man, just going on. But one thing I learned the value is loving people for who they are. Yeah. Because my grandmother, my mom's mother, I'm very close with like the elders in my family. That's why I consider myself like an old soul. Yeah. And I think like that Southern hospitality kind of just brewed that into me. Yeah. But just growing up, understanding that you love people no matter what the circumstances, conditions, or facts are. So that helped me tremendously. Just seeing her deal with a lot of different personalities. A lot of different desires, even coming in and out of the house, and how she managed that with love and gratitude.
So would you say your grandmother then, from a young age basically started to mold you to be a elite quarterback and dealing with so many different personalities, let alone the trials and tribulations, having seen, as you mentioned, crackhead uncle, very successful people left and right from that standpoint, the ups and downs of life. Like, explain to the audience what that experience was like.
I think, a lot of people talk about perspective, but one thing about perspective, sometimes perspective is based on experience.
Yeah.
And I think the experiences that I encounter at a young age allow me to be able to see visually of things that I would not love and things that I would love. And I think my grandmother, she was the pillar that just showed me the consistency of being who you truly are, despite the circumstances and despite the things that are around you. And that family, no matter what your family doing, is more important than anything. So I'm grateful for that. But what she truly taught me in depth is how to serve.
Yeah.
Like, despite what they doing or what, like, when she ain't gonna allow that stuff in the house, but she's serving constantly. And no matter what.
Nah, man, you definitely talk about serving, and we'll get more into that. And I take a lot of pride to learning from you, which you probably don't even know, on learning how to serve people and look at things from a different lens. But I want to get into a little bit of the money talk. And what is your earliest memories of money coming from Alabama and being around your grandparents and your grandmother? And what did that look like?
My earliest memories of money is like, you got to work to get money. Growing up in a house full of people, I never felt poor. I always felt that our family was going to provide. Growing up in the church, I knew every Sunday grandma was going to cook a good meal. All of us was going to eat. People was going to be coming in and out of the house with plates. But I also been a part of my mom and my dad, which I did have in my life, their early struggles of them finding their self, just being in the environment that we were in. So I had some nights of no AC. I've had some nights of no food on the table in my
AC in Alabama is not coming.
in my own home. But I also saw the resilience and the endurance of my parents, of my family throughout that. And I think that's why my perspective on money is unique, because I'm not a big spender. I'm not extravagant. But I do a lot of charitable things. I do a lot of giving. But that's why I come to you for a lot of stuff, because it's also your approach.
But let's also talk about that giving and that financial status and how that molded you, especially from a work ethic perspective. Like, how did that all come into play, and how did you really also understand what your financial status was as a family and how that drove you as a young man?
Yeah. So at first, bro, like I was naive to the fact that I'm bringing in so much money. You think that it's going to continue to bring in, until I learned about planning, right? Tax planning, right? Budgeting, just things that are essential for you to be able to be a great steward of the money. So whatever I got, like, okay, faith wise is not mine, it's the Lord's. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving like I had to understand, like, if I'm going to pay a cousin light bill, I'm gonna have to put that cousin on payroll, right? And that cousin gonna have a limit. Like, I'm not gonna be their bank. It ain't no banks. Hopefully one day it can be a Winston Bank somewhere. I think that means you can open up a bank.
Hey, do that understand. I've been trying to over the last couple of decades. We still got action though.
I know you can. So help, let me do the raise and I go advise the people.
Okay.
But I think just that basic understanding of planning and organized planning is the biggest thing that I learned over the course of my career, because like seeing family, like they're hustling to get money.
Yeah.
And it's, I get money, I spend money. Like, what you spending money on? You spend, whether it's food, whether it's clothes, whether it's grandma getting a hair did, nails done, and that money's gone, right? So one, I learned how to stretch that money, right? Because once that money come in, I know somebody gonna spend it, whether it's bills, whether it's materialistic things. So you have to learn the hard way, really.
Yeah. So you talked about budgeting and you talked about understanding like how to manage those dollars and putting a cousin or an aunt or uncle on payroll. How have you architected that to where you're at right now, especially being, I mean, even at college, maybe you were one of the most notable athletes and college football players in the entire country, and then coming into being the number 1 overall draft pick, and everybody looking at you like, man, he made it. We all made it.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I think that responsibility of being the person to hit the jackpot for everybody is something that still today, like, it eats at my heart, because I want to be able to provide and protect everyone.
Yeah.
But I know when I had a family, and I had my wife, my children, that my sole role was responsibility to them first.
Mm-hmm.
So that allowed me to lean on some of my advisors and some of the people in financial situations to help me really strategize of how I'm going to, facilitate all the desires that I want to give to my family and doing it in a nice way. Like having a no person, because I'm not a no person.
Yeah.
I'm here like, you need this? Like, I got you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to find a way. Yeah. Like, I remember, like, one thing I was doing, like, when I first moved to Tampa, one of my cousins that grew up in the same house with me, I brought him down with me.
Okay.
Man, I was giving my cousin, like, close to $300 just to take out the trash.
Jimmy, I'm trying to be okay.
I know.
But can I take out the trash?
But that, for him, that was motivation.
Yeah.
Because he was like, okay, I'm going to take out the trash. I'm going to use that. I'm going to start driving Lyft. I'm going to start finding a way. He used that $300 to pay for his own apartment. Like, he was like in the hustle mode.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that same hustle.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that same desire. Some people look at it like as scholarships. Like, man, you got a free ride. Now it's time for me to get my free ride.
Yeah.
So being able to have true discernment on, like, who can handle something, like, who much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
Like, who can handle this and who can't.
So that's real, because I got a question that has ate at me before in a lot of ways. So coming into all this money, coming into all this success, and you really haven't even done anything yet. You're just scratching the surface. But you have the ability to enable people. How has that sat with you in seeing, all right, I may have had a cousin that took out the trash and hustled and moved on and leveraged me for success in his own right or her own right. But then you got people that just want to get a free ride or whatever it may be. How did you deal with not enabling folks in your family and around you?
I dealt with it through trials and tribulations first, because at first, when, like, in terms of giving, in terms of blessing others, like, you never look at it as enabling.
Yeah.
Until you realize that, like, it's draining.
Yeah.
Right. Just like the course of a team. Mm-hmm. If you got a coach that has high standards, that is very direct on what their rules are, but they allow, the star player to get away with certain things. Mm-hmm. He's been an enabler.
Yeah.
But that star player can handle certain things that the rookie cannot handle. Yeah. Right. From a far view, it's just like, he's still enabling this dude to do whatever he want to do.
Yeah.
So that term enabler is something that I still work towards today, of not enabling family members. And I view it as I'm enhancing them. If I'm enhancing them and I'm also rising up from this, then it's good.
So it's interesting that you bring that from a coaching perspective, because for me, Jim Carlo was, I think, the perfect coach, and he stated it in this exact manner. I will treat you all fairly, but not equal. Because ultimately, not everybody can equally handle these different things, but I will be fair in how I look at you guys as a collective. So when you're saying ultimately coaches can enable, but do you also have the ability to say, hey, I'm not going to enable this person, but I'm going to treat them differently because ultimately they can handle me, or they need to handle less. Yeah, from that perspective.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that I learned, again, through the trials and tribulations with one of my best friends. Mm-hmm. Like, for a long period of time, like, I just gave him my debit card. Like, he just walking around with my debit card, and me thinking, like, okay, he gonna be able to handle some stuff. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be able to take care of his family, so I ain't gonna have to be paying no check up. But me being lazy and not intentional with...
I love that word. People hate when I use lazy.
But I'm just saying, me not being intentional with, what I was allowed to steward, it allowed us to kind of separate, because now, again, I started treating him differently because of my expectation of what he should be doing with what I gave him.
Yeah.
But in reality, it wasn't his anyway.
Yeah. And would you say it came back to communication and not having a clear, concise expectation for him and him actually fully understanding that? Because I think that's something that I have something in my brain and I feel like this person should know me so well because they're my best friend or my sister or whatever it is, my cousin, but they still need to hear what my expectations are.
Yeah.
And so they can either meet it or not meet it and then go from there.
Yeah. Well, I believe me and him had a common like communication in terms of like what this car was to be used for. But at the same time, when you have your own cognitive bias and expectation of how something is supposed to, it naturally makes it divisive.
Yeah.
Because they have their expectation, you have your expectation. And when you dealing like, especially really with family, when you dealing with family, people that you love, and you let them get away with something, that just continues to pile up. And if they lack the accountability, and again, I got to look internally. Yeah. If I lack the accountability to continue to hold them to that standard, then we all suffer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, there's no question. I want to go back a little bit because I know we got off of it, transitioning to your career. And again, being Gatorade Player of the Year, best college football player in the absolute country, won a national championship. Like, what was it like being that famous and one of the best athletes in America, and then also unable to monetize it, especially now you look at NIL?
Oh my gosh. Well, looking at it now, obviously I'm just like, oh my goodness, like only if I would have been playing 10 years from now, my family would be set up for life. But I was in the moment, man. I'm a very present person.
I give you that for sure. You definitely are.
Yeah. Like during that time when I was in Florida State, I was focusing on being the best. Yeah. And that's all I was focused on. And I enjoyed my time, man. Every single day I was grateful to growing with my teammates, competing. I wasn't focused on like the accolades or the championships. Like it's not a coincidence that I won a championship on my birthday. You know, so I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, it happened because of the work that I put in, and it was already written. It was already preordained.
Yeah.
But to talk about like this new wave of enabling athletes in families with a lump sum of money that they have to pay taxes on, that some of them don't even know that they got to pay taxes on. Yeah. I think it has brought me to a point where I'm happy that I played back then because I developed calluses from enduring certain things, from enduring a quarterback competition as a true freshman, you know, from enduring transfers, like from year in and year out coming to try to take my spot. But they got to sit out a year before they can come compete, you know. And really, I think the thing that the NIL is really good. I think the players deserve money in all sports, but they're missing the camaraderie of team bonding, of developing successful relationships with their teams. There's no more teams.
Yeah.
It's individuals playing football now.
No question. I mean, it's free agency every single year. It is like you pick and choose whatever you want to do. You're a free agent this year, next year, and whatever year you want it to be. So kind of moving on and still on the topic of college football in 2013, what would be, in your words, one word you would explain that season and like why?
Resilient. That comes, and I use the term resilient a lot, but why was that year so resilient? That year was resilient because of the things that I personally had to endure and overcome throughout the year, whether it's mentally, physically, and emotionally, and also just the path, the journey of. I don't think a lot of people talk about mental health, but I've never not started or been on a football, like been the main person on the football field until I got to college. In my true freshman year, I feel like that was the most educational year for me to realize that, man, I have to go back to day one grinding in building my way up, earning respect from every single level, and not feeling sorry for myself. Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm better than him. I'm better than him. Like, I work harder than him. But he's a senior. He got drafted in the first round. Like, he gonna play. Yeah. So me dealing with that and dealing with some of the other things that I had to endure, it helped me grow up way faster than I expected, bro. From an accountability perspective, from truly a choices and decisions perspective, and a mental perspective of not being able to be phased no matter the circumstances, conditions, and facts that you're being presented.
And it's crazy that you say that, because I remember sitting in college my freshman year, true freshman year, Nebraska. I'm like, they got this JUCO transfer, this one, and I'm out here balling, and I get hurt. And I come back the second year balling, but I still got to sit behind these JUCOs because they're now seniors and I'm a redshirt freshman because I had a redshirt. It's like, man, I'm 10 times better than these dudes. Why am I not being a starter? But again, that resilience, that fight, and understanding, like, you got to continue to always work and get there to the next level. So as you put in that work and you are now a starter and you're well known across the country, at what moment when you were in college did you understand that you had the opportunity to change your financial future for your entire family?
The unique thing about that, bro, is I never once thought about that. I never once thought about, I used to pray about being a millionaire, when I was young, but I never once thought about, like, oh man, if I keep throwing touchdowns, I'm going to be able to take care of my family forever. And that's one thing that I do believe that is very beneficial for athletes today in NIL, because not only I feel like when we got drafted, when you got drafted, like, yeah, I got big money. But when I got drafted, I was thrown into the ring of fire, a ring of fire of financial advisors, agents, marketing personnel, where I had no experience of these relationships with these people. Yeah. And me being a present, relationship-oriented person, I felt like it took me years to understand who they truly were. And to me. Yeah. And I think if I would have started earlier on that and realized, like, the compliance people of the NCAA were kind of like those people that were scouting out the agents, talk to them a little bit more. Talk to another player about their draft process. Yeah. But man, I was a two-sport athlete. I was focused on playing baseball and football.
I forgot about baseball.
Bro, like, money, I knew it was gonna come because the work ethic. Yeah. But I didn't think about, like, how I would steward it, bro, like what I would do with it.
No, that's interesting. And I think it's one of those things that a similar story, but I think mine got heightened because of the time frame that I was coming out of school, being in 08, 09, the financial crisis and all that stuff, and seeing my dad's business struggle. My mom was fine. She was a teacher, but I was like, I got a real opportunity. Like, if I put my stuff in order and really dive into it, I can change my financial future, and especially for the overall family from that perspective. You mentioned baseball, because I actually totally forgot you as a dog in baseball too. Knowing that one of the two sports, you can obviously be elite in both of them, but if you didn't have either one of them, what would you have desired to have been as a young adult?
A lot of people always laugh at me when I give them that answer, and it's based on the people that impacted me at an early age. The name Cynthia Hobney was a podiatrist in Bessemer. She worked on my dad's mom's feet, my dad's feet, my uncle's feet. And that was the first inclination of someone that I saw, like her husband, David Hobney, like my mentor. He was a judge. He was the judge for the city. Yeah. She was the podiatrist. So I saw those two, that family, that deal, that I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna say that name, but I'm gonna say that the Huxtable moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that Huxtable moment where,
I think everybody gets you.
So, but I'm just saying, so when I saw that Black excellence, she was the person that I kind of navigated towards in terms of she was taking care of two people that I love very dearly, my dad and his mother, my grandmother. And I wanted to be a podiatrist, brother. Like I really wanted to be a foot doctor. And that's
You ain't got no foot fetish.
I ain't gonna lie, I love feet. Like, and you ask Bree, like, her feet don't get dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know how you have those non-negotiables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a non-negotiable with me.
Okay.
And I try to enhance my teammates on it, but now they want to do all the shellac and the gel and stuff on their toes, and I'm over it.
Yeah. I'm glad my wife that's how that feet. Yeah, we only had one there right there. And I love that podiatrist. I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
My dog, Jameis wants to be a podiatrist.
Yeah, bro. Like, I used to look up schools, bro. Like, literally.
You know, it's not too late.
No, it's not. It's not. But to that point right there, when I'm gonna just go back a little bit when we were talking about, you know, that moment where I realized that that me making money for my family was gonna be beneficial for us and how I would use that. I would say that they came again when I was 14.
Okay.
Because my grandmother, the woman who raised me, really raised all of us, she passed, literally. She passed yesterday, 19 years to yesterday, November 5th. Yeah, no, but it's good. She passed, and I was talking to my mom about it. And when she passed, ironically, like, I had this meeting with this guy over the mountain. Obviously, that's the rich people. They got all their stuff. With this guy by the name of Steve Janeski. He was a quarterback guru. And that was like the day that I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an NFL quarterback. Like, I'm going to be great. Yeah. Because from Bessemer, Bo Jackson, D'Amico Ryans, the head coach for Houston Texans, like, both of them were football athletes. People don't know that D'Amico played baseball. Okay. So I had high expectations that I was going to do it big and I was going to follow right under the water over there. And bro, it is.
There's something in the water over there.
Yeah, so we got the poorest city down there, rolling through there. They're the poorest city. They got a private airport too. Like, it's crazy how private airports be in port cities. But anyway, we'll talk about that. You probably know about that.
But don't act like you don't either.
Listen, yes, we blessed. But anyways, that moment when she passed, bro, like, that's when I dedicated. And ironically, literally, bro, my dad, he made a sacrifice. Like, her passing, he made a sacrificial move by leaving his job at the time of 16 years. She's been working for Bessemer City for 16 years, trying to get me a better school system. He becomes a janitor for a year, right? The person who is Rush Probst is a crazy story. Rush Probst is this iconic coach, Two-A-Days. Remember Two-A-Days, the movie? Yeah. The coach of Two-A-Days. He gets fired because of some scandal, right? My dad loses his job. As the janitor. Yeah. My daddy never worked another day in his life.
Wow.
I was living off my mom. My dad was supposed to know, but my mom, me doing individual things that I had to do to provide for the family, and my dad straining from a perspective of you seeing a grown man cook, clean, wash clothes, and my mama is out working. She worked for the government, you know. She worked for Social Security.
See, but there's something about that, though, that I've got a lot of respect for, because it was a mentor of mine, Demonte Price, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name, but I remember sitting there having this, talking with me, him, my wife, and his wife, and he's like, kind of like back in the day in those times, like, because I think in this new age, it's both parents got to work and do all these different things versus saying, who can go make the most money and who's going to sit here and take care of the kids? And it doesn't matter if it's male or female. We always think about it as being the mother and whatnot. But that's interesting and powerful, man.
And that's why I love my dad so much, because from a true Southern perspective, you know, like, those values and that perspective is always like that. Like, the dad is the worker. He going to provide everything. The mom is the cooker, cleaner, all this. But it allowed me, one, to see my mom work tirelessly, effortlessly to provide a way for her family.
Yeah.
And my dad humble himself, right, through all circumstances, conditions, and facts. Like, he tried to go back to the city, but they wouldn't allow him to start where he was. So he would have to work his way all the way back up. You know, so he was like, I'll find another way. So seeing his hunger, seeing his desire to continue to provide for his family while not having no job, by accepting a role, a humbling role as the the opposite now. It allowed me to gain a perspective of like, man, like no matter what the circumstance, conditions, and facts are, if you set your vision, if you visualize something and you have a plan to attack it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Because my dad had to swallow his pride, man.
And that's what a lot of people aren't able to do, is swallow their pride and be humbled and be able to say, I mean, let's take what we have in front of us and make the most of it. At T. Rowe Price, their experience helps them see investment potential differently. Instead of quick answers, they know that what really leads to confident investing is true curiosity, which is why they ask smart questions, just like us. Like how healthcare innovation creates a healthier world, or how will AI be a part of a new tomorrow? Great questions for a deep dive. At T. Rowe Price, their curiosity runs deep so you can invest more confidently. Better questions, better outcomes. T. Rowe Price. Learn more at troweprice.com/curiosity. Let's move on to this next segment. I like to call Show Me the Receipts. So Show Me the Receipts is kind of all things money. But I want to understand from your first time understanding what you came into as a first round draft pick. What did you spend your first check on?
Man, my first check, I didn't touch my first check. You know, the first few years, I got a lot of endorsement money.
You remember how much it was?
My first check?
Yeah, from the league.
I don't remember specifically how much it was, but I do remember.
I'm a numbers guy.
I know your number.
$300 in the bank.
How did I remember the first time that I looked at my account? The first number that I saw, I don't remember what my check was.
Yeah,
it was $13.4 million. I just saw 8 figures in my bank account.
Yeah,
that's the first time that I saw like that. When I saw that, I was like, yeah,
I made it.
Now I made it, but like, yeah, I ain't doing that with this.
Just gonna literally there and look at it.
I'm looking at it. Like literally was looking at it. And like, you know, those early times, like when you first see that money, you like, man, how many I got now? How many I got now? But my biggest purchase, I bought a fancy chair, like a little lazy boy chair for my dad, my grandma Winston.
Okay.
And it was, I remember the tag on that was like, it was like $4,600.
Yeah.
And it was one of the chairs, like, you know what I'm saying, with the little compartments on your legs where you could lean back, get the massage of your legs, the back get massage. Like, she was a diabetic, so she was in heaven.
Yeah.
And just to see that smile on her face and see how it actually helped her with her daily life, bro. She was a nurse clerk for years at UAP Medical West.
Yeah.
And for her to come home, because at that time she wasn't retired yet, for her to come home and sit in her chair and get that, have a vibrating chair. You know, when you're growing up, the only time you see a vibrating chair is in the mall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't at the airport level yet.
Like 50 cents.
You know, so
chair.
and I got my grandma that massage chair.
Okay.
So that's my claim to fame. And it was just $4,600.
Bad, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you regret buying?
I would say I'm not a big person of regrets, but I do one thing just early on in my career of just the stewardship that I had with my money.
Yeah.
In terms of, it got to a point, Sue, where I enabled the people around me to spend like $400,000 a month. Yeah, like it was on month, bro. Like on clothes, on trying to do stuff on eBay. Like, bro, it was a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot. Like, they called themselves trying to flip stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when instantly I was like, okay, now, yeah, nah, bro. Like, because when you see 8 figures, like, you're like, oh man, this ain't going nowhere. But when you read your monthly statement,
yeah,
and you see a number that you're not even, like, if you're not touching it, man, you see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you see that number, you're like, oh, nah, this ain't gonna go, you know?
So what was that transition like then? Obviously, there was, quote unquote, a mistake in enabling and trusting. How did you position yourself and transition from that point in life to one where you're at right now, where you obviously have had tons of experiences in between that? And what have you done differently to get there?
Yeah, the first transition was taking it away. Like limiting myself from being that person to like taking accountability of like, no, it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? But also boundaries, bro.
Yeah.
Having boundaries is so challenging when it's your family.
Yep. Yep.
Because
you want to give them everything. Yeah.
Because you want to give them everything, but also it's just like they were the people that you dreamed of it with.
Yeah.
Of you and doing that process with. So like if you live in a dream, then they gotta live the dream. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only right. And then I'm gonna say this. In LeBron, in the false narrative of LeBron, when he had Mab, he had everybody with him, you thinking like, I can bring my boys, we can do the same thing that LeBron and his boys did.
Yep.
Until you watch the documentary 10 years later and see that the work that they did.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that idea is simply based on like, you can have these visions, you can have all these thoughts, but it's the action that allows you to get what your heart truly desires.
But that's something right there that I really want this podcast to be able to have, is the truth behind the scene. So you look at LeBron, you got Mav, Rich, and Randy. Like, into the outside world, you look at them as like, man, they set up perfectly. Which, as you mentioned, there's the trials and tribulations, and dudes had to go away for a little bit and come back, go do their own things. But what people don't realize is that the time and energy and the focus that has to go into that. And again, talking about being humble, dudes willing to play certain roles. And this is something I wish for my friends that I'm close with and grew up with. Let's all be experts in our own spaces and lift each other in those spaces. And they don't always have to intersect and be beneficial to one another, but indirectly they will. Like I remember the other day, and like one of my boys, Harv, like he was in the car industry. Bro, I'm hitting his line and saying, bro, I want to buy this car. How do I look at this, buying this process? It's not easy to go to a dealership and understand all the nuances that go through those different particular pieces. So that is very interesting that you had that same revelation with your friends and your family and had to go through that process as you transition to say, I'm no longer enabling and supporting you guys. We got to figure out how we can restructure that. So what does that look like in this day and age right now for you?
It looks like my friends having their own desires for themselves. Like now my boys, they got kids, they got their own jobs. And I don't really like when people like, you know, some people can't come along to ride with you. Mm-hmm. But I think everyone put on this earth is here for a unique purpose.
Yeah.
So now my friends, they're chasing their desired purpose. Yeah. And I always encourage them like, hey, man, do what you would love. Like, don't just be doing that just because someone's making you do it.
Yeah, and don't do it because you feel like you have to do something. For me, like, it's okay. And if our only sole purpose is just to be friends and hang out, let's leave it at that.
It is.
And I think that's key. I want to get back to the last receipt. What is one thing you will not put a limit on spending money on?
You help me with my health. Like, food, body.
Yeah.
What my well-being.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put a limit, really on that now. Now there is levels to it.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I think that it's imperative. Like your Otis,
how does Otis fit into this?
Well,
to him.
Well, Otis was with me since I was 13.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff happened around that 13, 14 age. And when you invest in people that are pushing you, that are enabling you, that are challenging you, that's a good investment because you see the ROI.
Yeah.
You know, but when you invest in people that are draining you, you got to look within. Right. Like, okay, how am I adding to this? And two, look through.
Yeah.
Like, if this is happening, what can we do now? Right. Like, I love what you said, like, be where you, like, do what you can with what you have. Hold on there. But it's the simple things, bro. Like being where your feet are.
Yeah.
Like those simple terms.
Let's move on to a brand new segment that is solely dedicated and only originally created for my man, Jameis Winston. I'm ready. Thank you. Are you ready for this? Isn't that I was born ready for? We're born ready. Okay. The wise words of Jameis Winston is what this segment is called. So with that being said, how does Jameis Winston define servant leadership?
Man, like talking about servant leadership, I've realized I feel like I need a cup of tea.
Look at it. Cross his legs. Get it fresh. Let's go.
Man, servant leadership is doing for others, in simple terms, as you want to be done for yourself. Servant leadership is what I want for myself, I want for everyone. And I think that is the impact of gratitude, of humility that I always try to express when I speak to kids.
Yeah.
Because the golden rule is treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
But how many people want other people to have the same stuff that they have?
That's a key question.
Not a lot. But until you are willing to understand, like, what I want for myself, I want for you as well. And whether that's abundant wealth, whether is that abundant health, whether is that wisdom, whatever it is, like if it's something that I desire as a leader, I want it for you as well. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to ensure the person that I'm leading, that I want that for them. It ain't just fluff. It ain't just like, hey man, I want you to be a billionaire because I really want to be a billionaire too. Yeah. It's like, nah, bro, I want you to be a billionaire because I think your path to being a billionaire is going to allow all of us to learn what it takes to become a billionaire. And when you become a billionaire, I'm going to be like, hey man, like, how you became a billionaire? Yeah. And I'm going to help you along that process.
And I think you mentioned it earlier on about the old soul. I think that's one thing why I like being around older people, because they have that wisdom, that insight, that focus. So the question for me is like, how do you then translate that servant leadership into the game of football, and how you've been able to do that, especially from a leading position as quarterback?
Yeah, I believe you do it through consistency. You do it through authenticity. And I think like that's the only thing that you really can do, because in today's age, especially like with the new way, like they call them YNs, being able to really show like passion and show empathy to these young cats, like they like, oh, now like
they don't know what to
do with it, you know, because one, they probably ain't experienced a man giving them like love, giving them empathy in their life, and two, everyone got their head on a swivel anyway.
Because they think somebody coming after us.
Yes. Yeah. Because one, maybe it's the NIL, they've been giving this money, so now it's people quicker to jump on their bandwagon. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's to that point, and I'm sure you experienced this as well, because I witnessed how the NFL painted the picture of you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you take on that role of being the villain, you're like, okay, I embrace that. Now, like, I'm going to show y'all who the villain is. And you did it on the field. You know what I'm saying? And you did it strategically off the field. But when you embrace that mentality, like, I'm talking about Kobe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you go that path, now it's just like, I'm not dealing with no BS. If I think you fake, now I'm going to refrain from you and come back. But if you're doing it every single day and you see it being done to other people, you're like, hold on now. Now I have kids coming up to me like, hey man, like, what you think about this? Yeah. Like, but at first, you ain't even want to talk to me in the summer when I'm just trying to talk to you about life. Yeah. But now you asking me about your problems. Yeah. You know, but through time, through consistency, through being who you are every single day, it allows that servitude to come into fruition. Yeah. Right? Because essentially it's by example. It's like, who am I every single day?
And it's crazy that you say that, because what it reminds me of one of our teammates that I'm close with and gotten close with, and a handful of other guys too. They saw that consistency. They seen that villain from afar join the team. Oh, he really not that way. Like, let me revisit this whole conversation and relationship overall. So it's very interesting how you put that together. And I appreciate that from a football perspective, but you mentioned something key in how you can accept that in that role in the football world, but how does that translate to you in the community of that servant leadership, and then also in business, and as you're continuing to grow and build things outside of sports?
Yeah, well, I think specifically in the community, when you show sweat equity, and then I'm gonna get to the bit when you show sweat equity, when you are going back to your community, whether it's camps, whether it's leadership summits, whether you provide them with something that of substance.
Yeah.
You're not just giving them money. You know what I'm saying? You showing face and you're doing the work.
Yeah.
I think that's when your community gets behind you and they support you, and it allows you to create a following. And when you create a following, then you create a movement. And when you create the movement, then you move needles.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, I think it encouraged the curiosity, because in the business world, I don't go around acting like I know everything.
Yeah.
I learn. I stay curious. I ask them to tell me more.
Yeah.
And I just keep relationships. Just like, man, as a quarterback, you got to be able to talk to the D lineman. You got to be able to talk to the O lineman, the DBs, the receivers, and everybody.
And that's a hell of a difference between the O-line, D-line, and C.
It is. It's a variety of different people.
Yeah.
And once you understand, like, okay, this is the people business. Business is the people business.
Yeah.
So how can I be the best version of me and get the best version from them to come out and to teach me what I would love?
Yeah.
You know, or how can I be the best version of me and connect with this person for us to create something that is going to impact everyone else? Yeah. And I think that comes through another form of sweat equity, spending time with these people that you desire to have relationships with.
Yeah.
Really seeing their families. I think that's a big part of really business relationships that I've learned from my perspective. Like, you got people that, you know, you want to do Zoom calls with and you want to have conversations with, but you also got those people that you like, you know what, I'll bring my kids around your kids any day of the week.
So that's interesting that you say that, though, because I think what's key, especially we sit in a position, and I feel very, very blessed to be in this way. I don't have to do business with everybody, and I get to pick and choose. And one thing that I've started to really hone into is like, one, do I like you enough and do I trust you enough to be around my kids? And if you can't be around if I don't feel comfortable you being around my kids and spending time around them, I can't do business with you. That doesn't fit for everything, but that's fitting for a lot of majority of the stuff that I'm doing from a business perspective. Like, investing folks, like, I mean, this is just interesting that you say that. Like, people got to be able, like, if I can't have you around my family, I don't think we need to do business together.
Yeah. Well, I go back to like the people business. When people think about business, they just think about brass terms and money.
Yeah.
But how do these people become who they are?
Yeah.
Right. Through sacrifices, work ethic, and desire.
Yeah.
Just like we became NFL football players through our same thing, but we focus on football.
Yeah.
They may focus on a different career path. So if our values align, that's a check, right? And if our mentality aligns, that's a double, right? But if we are like, if our energy aligns, like, that's how you know, okay, like, I got somebody that I know I can't say anything around them that will, one, offend them or take them away. Like, I think that's the biggest thing when you're dealing with relationships.
Yeah.
If you can't be real with them and you gotta like, you gotta like walk around eggshells around them, then it's not gonna work out in the end
at all.
So you just wasting time.
Yeah.
Right. And
might as well cut loose now.
And I think being efficient is one of the key things to, one, you growing business.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have to waste time going through a whole book of like, hey man, well, I met this person for coffee and they talked about this. I like that. No, you grasp the feeling tone.
Yeah.
Like you said, like children, that's something I value. Right? Spirituality, that's something that I value.
Yeah.
So I can easily cross out people that I'm just not gonna connect with based on certain things that I love for myself. Again, it goes back to that servant leadership.
Yeah.
What I want for myself, I want for everyone.
Yeah.
If I can't see what I want for myself in you, then
and honestly, simply put, like, I want to do business with people I also want to hang out with. You have my family go on vacation. Yeah, let's put all this hard work in for 9-10 months and then go vacation for 2 months because of all the hard work that we put in. So last one for this special segment, the wise words of Jameis Winston.
Thank you.
Young athlete, young quarterback, what advice would you give them in general, but also facing adversity?
4 words. Success is in the struggle. Anytime that you endure challenges, anytime that you endure success, there are going to be things that you have to overcome. Okay. And I feel like, and you can put it like this, I feel like my most successful moments, I had to overcome more than my challenges because of my hunger, because of my grit.
Yeah.
When I was challenged, I rose to the occasion. Like I was hard on myself. I still am hard on myself. I got better. You know what I'm saying? It's improvements. But handling success and doing it over and over and over again is one of the most challenging things that you can do as an athlete. It's not like, okay,
And you got to raise the bar each time.
every single time, because it's like, people talk about business like the rat race, like everyone chasing something. But like when you chasing greatness, when you chasing to be the very best, it's never good enough. Right. So when you reach that pinnacle, you still look at something like when I encountered you, like I thought like I'm coming into my contract. Yeah, I'm thinking that like I'm about to dominate this. But when I saw you and how you approached everything, like, and you didn't got paid and you didn't made a foundation in the league, I'm just like, man, I'm not doing the things that's required for me to be even where I'm at. Like in terms of nutrition, in terms of being on top of my finances, in terms of being the man that I want to be. Like I'm just telling you that before I met you, I would consider myself very much a people pleaser.
Oh, okay.
Meaning that, like, you know what a people pleaser is? Like, shit, I want to make you feel good.
Yeah.
But when I got a chance to see someone of your stature not really care about what nobody else, really not care about what nobody else thought, it's like, I don't gotta care what they think about me.
But the funny thing is, though, it's very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. But just like you got Otis, you remember Keith? Yeah, I do. I cared about what Keith thought. That always sat in the back of my head because I respected him and I know he always had this vision of what I could become. And we architected it and we talked about it and we created all these different things and we would reach that goal. Get to the next one. Get to the next one. And like, even till this day, like I'm retired. I ain't played in 2 years. Me and Keith still got goals.
Yeah.
Like, so those are the different, so it depends on the person because you were right. I got Tampa. I gave 2 Fs about half of what was going on. My mission was to come in here and do certain things. And I wanted to win and felt that we had an opportunity to do that, right? And whatnot. So, you appreciate that. Really what it is that I want to understand, because you got this amazing foundation.
Yeah, Dream Forever Football, or Dream Forever Foundation.
And what I ultimately want to understand is like everything that you've encountered to date in your life. What ultimately is that biggest win that you've seen today?
The biggest win that I've seen today, personally, has just been me being able to be present with my wife and my children.
Yep.
Allowing them to experience things that with me that I always wanted to experience, because I know that that's priceless. Yep. My boys having an experience of being in London or traveling to go to a playground in the Bahamas or wherever we're doing as a family, vacation wise.
Yeah, if you're doing some
or
exclusive vacation,
or
still waiting for an invite.
Bro,
And we're gonna leave that there.
no, you know you go a better place to meet. But man, like even going diamond hunting in Arkansas, like special things like that, are stuff that you won't get back, because as you know, like when your kid's gone, like you don't get them years back, right? So that's one of my greatest victories. But I would say also up until now, just the impact of positivity and influence I've had on young kids,
Yeah.
specifically, just encouraging them to want more and encouraging them to work for it too.
Yeah.
So I take pride in just the impact, because I consider myself a man of increase. And I know, like, you know this because you very wise with your words. Like, what we speak into this world, bro, it comes into fruition. So being able to speak life into the youth, and speak like to my kids, my wife, is one of my greatest victories.
Man, that's powerful. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I've always been so soft spoken and light in my words, because I know when I do speak, people actually listen to some extent. And I think that's something I want to be a little bit more boisterous now that I got a microphone. But
Doing well, bro.
thank you. And I appreciate people like you. So with that kind of being said, is one of your biggest wins, and obviously talking about your foundation, what are some of the things that you've encountered from a learning perspective and had to overcome at an early stage of learning lessons with the community and your foundation work that you've been doing?
Well, with foundation work, I learned instantly over the course of time. Like, it's forever evolving. Yeah. Like, back in 2017 when we first started, like, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math was very, like, important. Like, that was like all the schools were pushing, and I wanted to provide resources for the underprivileged youth that didn't have Wi-Fi in their schools, that weren't working with smart boards. They didn't have a vision of being able to work on tablets and stuff. So that's what we started off with, was just these dream rooms, providing them with iPads, smart boards, 3D printers, creative spaces to allow them to dream forever, because I wanted to enable them to dream.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big dream component, you know, just because of I always follow, you know, I can do anything I put my mind to, right? And I wanted these kids in underprivileged areas to experience that same thing in the classroom, as far as after school care, meaning like staying out of the streets, you know, being able to focus on your vision, on what you desire, early school care, like coming in the morning. I mean, some of these kids don't need to eat in the morning, but like, what is they crush? What can they go to? Learning how to do specific apps or robotics on their iPad, you know, Lego building, engaging with their teacher on a smart board. Like, one of the biggest things that the kids are very popular, especially in early, like pre-COVID, 17, 18, 19, were 3D printers, and not 3D printers with AI imaging and all that stuff like that. Like, you can put on augmented virtual reality glasses and create something, send it to a printer and let it, and make it come to life.
Yeah.
And that was something that I always valued, when the kids would be so amazed by, they would draw a boat, like draw a little boat.
Yeah.
Put it in a 3D printer, and the printer would do everything, and it would come into life. And I think, like, that type of commitment is always evolving with foundations. So as you speak into these kids, and as you really script the things that you want to do for them, you gotta understand, like, what are you scripting? Because eventually it's gonna come to life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know? So I think as we are evolving into this space where, okay, now the iPads in 2017, if you got an iPad Air in 2017, it is way behind
Dated.
You know, iPad now. So like, how do we evolve? So now we're taking more of a stride to, like, how do we get this show on the road? Because I was in Tampa, and a lot of my dream rooms were there, but how do we make a mobile experience? Because it's really technology based. Because I believe, I'm a firm believer that technology is going to continue to advance. It's one of the fastest growing things in business and in everything, right? So I want to be able to empower these kids with a technological mind and a curiosity of the things that they can do with AI, with building, with creating, and that just started with a dream for myself of wanting to enhance everyone else's resources.
Some great work, and I wholeheartedly hear you on architecting and finding different ways to move with the times. And that's something that I'm looking at right now, my own foundation and some different things working on, but also from a business perspective of like thinking about the trades and how in the trades in this day and age, technology's moving fast, computers are moving fast, but you can't take away from a plumber, an electrician, like all these guys and girls working with their hands, construction workers, like no building is being built without physical human horsepower and whatnot. And so I think that's something kids need to be exposed to, which could lead to them, hey, I don't need to go to college. I don't need to go get an MBA. I can go get a great lesson and learning of understanding what it looks like to be in the trade industry and be making six figures right when I come out of trade school, which is crazy. I want to kind of go into, and you're obviously still playing at a great level here in New York, this great city, the Big Apple. But I saw something this past Super Bowl. Oh, was it with Fox? You were doing some stuff?
I was a Fox Sports correspondent.
Sports correspondent.
I got it down like the back of my hand.
Hey, you obviously got an amazing personality. So let's talk about where you potentially see yourself in the media space in the next decade.
Yeah, man. You know, I again, when I write down, you know, what I would love, it's impact.
Yeah,
it's influence, and it's innovation, bro. Like, I want to be able to create something that is going to inspire a people to be better.
Yeah.
Right. Whether is that me commentating a football game and bringing excitement to that? Is that me developing
Winston cast?
But developing a line.
I'm adding that right now.
Oh, the Winston cast. Yeah. You're gonna be on it because I'm gonna be the happy-go-lucky person, and you're gonna be the person that's straightforward. Like, and I was just like, I'm
to keep everybody in task.
You gotta keep it real. Like, it ain't no like we don't have the most efficient podcast, but you know, I got so much respect for Pat McAfee. You could turn him on and he don't stop talking.
That is
like I stop talking eventually. You know what I'm saying? But I think that impact, that influence, and the innovation is something that it's three eyes. I don't know what the eyes mean right now, but that is something that I'm kind of putting together to see where it lands, man, because I do believe in being able to speak life into others and using your voice for the people that don't really have a voice.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to create something that is going to uplift them, but also challenge them in a way to create accountability, to create smiles, to create random acts of kindness that they can do. That's, I think, is required for a human in today's life.
Love it, man. I'm looking forward to this Winston cast.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just don't forget about the little people.
Nah, it starts with little people.
Yeah. This has been an amazing conversation. I appreciate your time. But I'm just gonna let you go without this one last question. What is the biggest price you've paid today for a breakthrough?
I think the biggest price that I pay for a breakthrough is being impeccable with my word. Right? Not saying things that would place me in a situation that I would regret.
Yeah.
Not allowing myself to speak in a manner that isn't of influence, isn't of life. Like, I'm spiritual, man, and the Bible says death and life lies in the power of your own tongue. So when I speak, man, I want to give off an aura of increase. And I think a lot of people don't understand what we talked about their tongue. And I had to correct myself because throughout the course of my career, you know, I was, I compromised early on in Tampa. I compromised with a way that was being put, you know, in terms of losing.
Yeah.
Which, like, oh, it's okay. It's a long season, you know, and I would say things like that. And it was my dad actually that kind of held me accountable to it. And he was like, you saying these slogans. He's like, but do you even mean what you say? And I had to look back and I was like, man, like, I was adapting things that other people said.
Yeah.
Just because they were insecure of me being able to say something that was going to go against what they were saying.
Yeah.
And I think the impact that we all have with our voice, whether it's political, whether it's educational, or whether it's at a private equity meeting, what we say, right, is only predicated on based on what we do. At the end of the day, I have my nose running. At the end of the day, we could say a lot of different stuff, but I'd rather speak from a place of increase because I know I'm willing to do the actions to put me in a position to get what I want.
And I will definitely say you increase the world.
Okay.
You create a lot of happiness for a lot of different people.
I appreciate you, bro.
Jameis, my guy, I appreciate your time, man. And this has been a hell of a conversation on No Free Lunch.
Thank you, man. No free lunch, man. I use our free and reduced lunch too.
Hey, I was just smart. What I did for us, I went to my sister's school, act like I was in high school, ate that lunch, and then left and went to my own school and ate their lunch.
You've been eating.
Stay.
I just made sure I got me some extra chocolate milks.
Yeah.
T. Rowe Price proudly sponsors No Free Lunch. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the podcast participants and do not necessarily reflect those of T. Rowe Price. Their sponsorship supports the platform and does not imply endorsement of specific content or perspectives.
Jameis Winston, what an amazing conversation with my guy. I think there's a lot of great tidbits that we can learn from him, but I'm going to go into the special segment of the wise words. The faith, the guidance, and speaking in terms of being able to make sure that people you are around, you're uplifting them, which is most important. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Because if you don't, you know I'm coming to find you.